What's up YouTube, Gemini Johnny back again with another compilation of creepy TikToks to make you question everything. This is day 21 of our TikToktober series where I'm taking you through the weirdest, creepiest, and most disturbing footage I can find. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Alright, let's see what TikTok has in store for us today.
Videos you need to see before you die. Okay, so did you know when a whale dies, it sometimes falls to the bottom of the ocean floor called a whale fall? And their corpse creates a complex ecosystem for countless deep-sea organisms. Well, the video I'm about to show you is exactly that, which a research submarine discovered, and it shows many organisms enjoying this whale's homemade ecosystem. Here's the video, and it's crazy.
Whale fall. Here we go, baby. Okay,
Yeah, dinner is served.
that's not bacterial, man. No, they are worms. Look at the blubber on the right side.
It's not even digested all the way. This is so
Definitely, where food is so limited, I would imagine scavenging is a great strategy. Your food doesn't run away.
So yeah, isn't that video so fascinating? It's crazy to me how life can just end for one, but even after death, they can still...
Nature's so sick. What a cool way to go too. We should start doing that with burials of people. We should just dump them in the ocean, put rocks inside of them or something. That's really dark. Oh my god. But it would be a cool way to go. They turn people into trees. Why can't they drop them in the ocean? They turn people into trees. Why can't they drop them in the sea? Stupid.
In the very last cell, a dark figure can be seen inside. This menacing shadow figure stared back at Josh, sending him running in fear. But the question remains, is this penitentiary haunted, or was this all just a hoax? When living in a secluded house in the middle of the woods, it's very likely to see wildlife from time to time. Well, one man on TikTok saw something on his property that he can't explain. He began documenting his encounters with this strange creature on TikTok. But lately, this creature has gotten too close for comfort.
Oh man, I thought that little tree thing was it. I was like, yeah, that's pretty close.
Damn! Holy shit! All right, some bitch is one on the other side of the house.
After hearing a noise on his roof, he discovered the creature was now on top of his house. This eerie, glowing-eyed being stared down at him before quickly ducking out of view. This bizarre creature doesn't appear to be an animal, but if it's not...
Man, that was crazy. Didn't really look like an animal. I guess it could have been, and it was just bad quality, as always. But it did kind of look like it was smoky or something. I don't know. But again, could have just been the bad quality. I don't know. What do you guys think it is?
Listen, I found the most peaceful spider.
Wait, so you're no longer an arachnophobia?
No, for real, look at it. When it loses an arm, it grows back 2, which means over its life, it can grow up to 200 arms. Whoa. It's called a feather star.
Bro, that thing looks nasty. Does it bite?
So, it does have a mouth located on the upper part of its body, and it uses its feathery arms to catch particles to feed itself. Most people think it's venomous because of its appearance, but they're actually gentle and help clean the ecosystem.
That's either an alien or an entity from the background.
I've said for a long time that octopi are aliens that got dropped in the ocean a long time ago. And they've just been there ever since. They're crazy smart. So,
Normal-looking photos that have a disturbing backstory. Ronaldo Dogsa, a politician in the Philippines, took a picture of his family right before he was assassinated on New Year's Day in 2011. The man in the back shot him twice while his family was forced to watch. The man holding the puppy is Yukio Araki, a kamikaze pilot who just one day later would crash into the USS Brian, killing 66 of the crew members and taking his own life. Yukio was only 17 years old, knowing completely well that he'd be going to his death the next day. The smiling man in this photo is Nazi Joseph Goebbels, who is in a 1933 League of Nations meeting, and in the next photo, his expression completely changes. His expression changes from cheerful to hatred because someone told him that the photographer was of Jewish descent. This seemingly normal photo shows 3 men in judo attire. The man on the right, however, is Osama bin Laden, the terrorist responsible for the 9/11 attacks on New York City. The girl wearing the veil is Elizabeth Smart, who was kidnapped for 9 months by the man on the far right. This photo was taken at a party the kidnapper crashed with Elizabeth, and she was forced to wear this veil at all times to keep her from being recognized in public.
The term four horses, or disruption, involves using 4 horses to pull a person's arms and legs in opposite directions, resulting in their limbs being torn off. During the Renaissance and early modern period, regicide, the killing of a monarch, was considered one of the most heinous crimes. The 4 horses was reserved for this crime. Francois Ravaillac saw himself as a divine instrument and believed that by killing King Henry IV, he was fulfilling a divine mission to save France from heresy. However, his act of regicide was widely condemned, and he was subjected to a gruesome execution. Before being drawn and quartered, he was scalded with burning sulfur, molten lead and boiling oil and resin, and his flesh was torn by pincers. Finally, he was tied to horses and dismembered. Similarly, Mikhail Piekarski's attempt to assassinate King Sigismund III of Poland was motivated by religious and political reasons. His failed attempt to kill the king resulted in his conviction for attempted regicide, and he was sentenced to a brutal execution. His body was slowly torn apart with heated pliers.
And conversely, what a horrible way to go. Oh my god. Because I can't imagine that that's an instant death. You'd probably bleed out. Ugh.
If you've seen the movie Hell House LLC, then you'll recognize this building. This is the real Hell House. It's a real haunted house attraction, and it's really supposed to be haunted. We spent the night in this building alone, and the video's gonna be on my YouTube.
Hello. I ordered a can of Sprite from the dark web. Let's unbox this and see what we got. Okay, let's go. A tough package. Okay, we got our Sprite. It's still wrapped in some kind of label. Let's get it off. Sticky. Okay, it hasn't been opened. It looks legit. It looks like it hasn't been messed with. Also, why does Sprite taste like TV static? The can looks all good to me. Low calories. But something is always sus when ordering from the dark web. Let's have a look inside. Okay, it's weird. Let's pour it out. Oh no. What is this?
Oh my god.
This isn't Sprite. Sprite is supposed to look like chewy water, not this red water. It's a pretty heavy liquid. Is this Sprite cranberry? It's kinda warm. How did this get in there? Why is Sprite such a cursed drink? Soda pop did.
This is how a 40...
Oh, and that's why I don't order stuff off of the dark web. There you go. That guy's account's really cool, though. He orders some crazy stuff, and I've seen a few of his videos. Don't order stuff off the dark web, unless you're that guy. In which case, keep ordering lots of weird things off the dark web for my entertainment. Thank you.
48-year-old murder mystery was finally solved. Nearly 50 years ago, remains of an unknown woman were found in an Ontario river. In 1975, the woman was simply known as Nation River Lady. Not only was her true identity finally revealed, but the man who we believe is responsible has been arrested. Jewel Langford was 48 years old when she passed away. A DNA profile of her was eventually used to try and find family matches. Luckily, scientists were able to find 2 DNA matches. Now, this is believed to be the first case in Canada where forensic genealogy has been used to identify human remains. In April 1975, Jewel was reported missing by her family when she failed to return home. Tragically, she was found floating in the river and had been strangled by a television cable. 81-year-old Rodney Nichols from Florida has been arrested. He's charged with murder and...
This is straight out of a horror movie. These are the final messages between the Titan sub and the ship on top. So they started the descent around 7:58, and things started going wrong around 9:30. Before that, everything was chill. We're noting an alarm from the RTM. Reducing velocity descent depth, 3433. Understood. Do you need to ascend? No change with thrust. The rate of descent is increasing at 35. Going to release the ballast now. Yes, agree. Release the ballast. No improvement. Preparing to jettison the frame. Affirmative. Update when able. RTM indicator status? Frame jettison, multiple attempts needed, but starting the ascent now. Multiple attempts? What is your status? RTM indicators? Depth? 1 minute later. Update please when able. Crackling sound at AFT. Can you identify the source? RTM indicator status? Negative. RTM status? Trying to run diagnostics. Ascending now, but very slow. Sounds have subsided. Global RTM alert active, all red. Understood. Any codes? Depth? Ascent rate? Update when able, please. Slow ascent in progress. Quarter predicted. Unclear why rate is so small. No indicator. At 3476. We are talking it over with the engineer. Stand by. Depth and status, please. What's the wattage on upwards thrust? Reading red on the A power bus. I switch to B. At 3457 meters, more sounds AFT. Okay, now here's where they lose signal. Understood. Continue ascent. Talking to Carlos about power situation right now. Activating recovery procedures. Carlos is requesting wattage output from bus B. Status update, please. Velocity of ascent? We're not receiving you. Update, please. Status and depth report. We need you to respond with the status and depth. Carlos is requesting wattage update on thrusters. We are unable to read you. We are moving to recovery coordinates. Report if you read. Please respond if you're able. Literally terrifying. I can't imagine. Like, that's so scary.
Man, I've seen, just in my days of watching creepy content, I've seen so much scary and supposedly creepy footage, and in doing this series I've seen like even more, and I don't think a single video I've seen in doing all of that gave me as much anxiety as the messages from that freaking sub. Holy crap, that was... oh god, maybe I can find a possession video to cleanse my palate. Jeez.
I gave AIDS and hepatitis B to all my patients because I did not clean my equipment. I'm Scott Harrington, an experienced and renowned dentist. Throughout my career, I've treated thousands of patients and gained expertise in the field of dentistry. However, in 2013, my professional life took a devastating turn. Health authorities inspected my dental practice after a patient was diagnosed with hepatitis C. Shockingly, their investigation revealed multiple violations of hygiene and infection control standards within my office. I was accused of endangering the health of my patients by using unsterilized instruments, performing unsafe procedures, and employing staff who lacked proper training in hygiene practices. Consequently, thousands of patients were urged to undergo screenings for hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and HIV. This scandal led to the temporary suspension of my dental license and a lawsuit for medical negligence. I was profoundly disturbed and taken aback by these allegations, as I never intended to cause harm to my patients. After a lengthy legal battle, I eventually managed to regain my dental license and reopen my practice. If you're in need of dental care, don't hesitate to visit me. I'm here to help with all your oral health needs.
And that's why I don't go to the dentist. Wait, pause. I'm joking. I go to the dentist. I am due, actually. I need to schedule a cleaning. But I just lost my health insurance.
Baba Yaga is a supernatural creature from Slavic folklore.
She looks like a White Walker.
She is typically depicted as an old, ugly witch with iron teeth and a long, hooked nose who lives in a hut deep in the forest. Baba Yaga is a complex character, sometimes benevolent and sometimes malevolent. Her stories have been passed down through generations and have evolved over time. The first written account of Baba Yaga appears in the 18th century in the collection of folk tales compiled by the Russian writer Afanasyev. However, Baba Yaga is believed to have existed in Slavic mythology long before this. Baba Yaga is often associated with the natural world and is said to have control over the elements. She is also associated with death and the afterlife. In some stories, Baba Yaga is a guardian of the forest who helps those who show her respect and wisdom. In other stories, she is a dangerous and malevolent creature who lures people to her hut to eat them. One of the most famous stories featuring Baba Yaga is the Russian fairy tale, Vasilisa the Beautiful. In this story, Vasilisa is sent to Baba Yaga's hut to get fire for her stepmother. Baba Yaga gives Vasilisa impossible tasks to complete, but ultimately helps her and gives her a magical doll to help her on her journey. Baba Yaga has become a popular figure in literature and art, appearing in works by authors such as Nikolai Gogol and Marina Warner, and in films such as Hellboy and John Wick Chapter 2. Today, Baba Yaga remains a prominent figure in Slavic folklore.
I think she looks nice.
Mancuerda involved tightly winding a cord around the arms of the victim.
Oh.
The executioner would then apply pressure either by throwing his entire weight backward or by utilizing a lever, thereby exacerbating the agony inflicted. The tightly wound cord, aided by the force exerted, would cut through the victim's skin and muscles, causing deep lacerations that reached the bone. The excruciating pain was further intensified due to the stretching of the victim's body, reminiscent of a rack, and the use of a belt or girdle attached to their waist. According to historical accounts, there is a story that suggests Giovanni II Bentivoglio, the tyrant of Bologna, resorted to the Mancuerda torture method to punish the astrologer Luca Gorico. It is important to note that this account is based on historical claims and may not be entirely verifiable. However, the story goes that Bentivoglio was dissatisfied with a prediction made by Gorico, leading him to subject the astrologer to this brutal form of torture.
What a dick! God, that's awful. Just like tied up with rope. Like, I know some of you are probably into that, but alright. But man, what a crappy way to go. That just, new fear unlocked.
These are the most disturbing torture devices I saw at the Torture Museum in Amsterdam. This device is called the garrote. And again, when I first saw it, it really didn't seem that bad. But then I found out why it's actually been called the harshest execution method of all time. The garrote was used during medieval times, and even later all around the world for punishment, execution, and even as a tool for assassinations. The most recent case I found happened less than 50 years ago in Spain. So how does this device work? The victim is held in place by a collar that's made of iron here but can also be made with wires. It's then tightened all the way, the spike piercing through the victim, supposedly crushing their brainstem. But it didn't always work, because the spike would often miss the brainstem, so it would just be buried in the victim's head until they passed, which allegedly could take over 15 minutes. But we're not done, because there's just a few more torture devices I saw in this museum, so follow to hear all their backstories.
The biggest artist in the world was behind the demise of this other man.
Drake killed XXX. Now, you may have seen there's been this theory going around all over social media the last few weeks, and it is absolutely mental. The theory is that after all these years, Drake is the one that was behind what happened to X. Now, let's have a look. Why do people believe this? Now, a long time ago, X posted this on his story, and I mean, that's sus. Then there are some lyrics from Drake in some of his songs which also are very sus. Have a read of the highlighted part right here. There was also another Drake lyric which said, if you held your tongue, you'd still be alive. Now, it's been clear for a long time that the two never really got along, and in posting this a while ago is extremely weird. Now, what happened to X was tragic, and it was probably just a robbery gone wrong, but there are a lot of people that believe it was actually Drake. Now, a lot of these rappers do have affiliation with gangs and stuff, so it's not impossible that this did happen, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and hit that follow button.
No comment.
Don't forget to like and follow and stay weird.
Stumbled across a creepy hole that was covered up in the middle of the desert in an unknown location. So he decided to uncover it and have a look what's down the dark hole.
Oh.
Subhanallah.
After enhancing the brightness, we can see what potentially looks like many pairs of glowing eyes lurking at the bottom of the dark.
Oh. I mean, whether that was a bunch of babies down there or something pretending to be a bunch of babies. I don't know what's creepier. Like, how do babies get down there? Obviously, something imitating a bunch of babies is really creepy. I also like how the label on that video said, "Creepy hole in the desert goes wrong." What's finding a creepy hole in the desert goes right? What is that situation? And this is why I don't... And this is why I don't uncover creepy holes in the desert. Stupid.
Humanity's Darkest Pictures, Part 48. The Jonestown Massacre. It occurred on November 18th, 1978, at the People's Temple Agricultural Project in Guyana. Reverend Jim Jones ordered his followers to consume a fruit-flavored drink laced with cyanide, while armed guards stood by. Many of the victims, including infants and children, were injected with the poison or forced to drink it at gunpoint. The cult had a history of abuse and control, and Jones was known for his charismatic personality and apocalyptic beliefs.
What would you do if you were staying in an Airbnb, about to take a shower, when you begin to hear voices humming from the wall? That's what happened to this woman. One night after renting an Airbnb, she...
First of all, I would absolutely think I was going insane. That would be my very first thought.
Began to shower when she heard something coming from the ceiling. Shortly after, she began to investigate. After finding a hidden air duct, she could clearly hear two voices speaking in what appears to be Latin. Shortly after this, the voices stopped. But that's not the scariest part about this story. This picture was allegedly taken while she slept.
No! Oh my god. Dude, that story cannot be real. That has to be fake, dude. I don't know. What would you do? I don't know what I would do. I guess, obviously, you should probably call the police. So I guess you could probably verify if that story's true or not. That was really creepy, though. Either way, good job. Hey, if you've watched this far, do me a favor. Like this video. I'd really appreciate it. And now let's get back to the video.
So the very popular movie 3 Billboards that's out right now is the story of Kathy Page. Kathy Page was found in a ditch in the front seat of her car about 100 yards from her house, right? But she was found deceased. When the officers went and looked at it, they thought it was a little bit suspicious because none of the sodas had spilled. She seemed to have a broken nose, but there was no blood in the car. And she had a blade of grass on her back that they thought meant that she was actually dragged and then put in the car. So they went to her house, knocked on the door, talked to her husband, Steve. They asked him if he knew where she was. The officer said that he looked in the direction of where her car was and answered, I don't know. That night she was supposed to meet up with a guy. Her father ended up actually buying these billboards and putting up all these things about the case so that like he just wanted this solved. Like they knew it was him. And the family actually had video recording of him going to Kathy's grave and kicking flowers off of it. And her dad said that those billboards will stay up until justice is served or he dies.
Wow.
And that's the true story.
Man, that's a ride or die right there. That's what's up. That would really suck if it's not true and the dude didn't really kill his wife. Although that's not what it sounds like happened. But it would really suck if he didn't do it and then there's just billboards of his face all over his hometown about how he murdered his wife. He's trying to grieve. But sounds like he did it, so probably deserved it.
The weirdest things ever sold on the internet, part 1. Firstly, Scarlett Johansson made an appearance on The Tonight Show in 2008 where she blew her nose into a tissue. She then put this used tissue in a bag, signed it, and then listed it on eBay. The auction went viral and the tissue sold for a whopping $5,300. In 2008, 2 sisters from Virginia, Melissa and Emily, discovered a cornflake that was shaped exactly like the state of Illinois. They put the cornflake up on eBay and after an intense bidding process, process, Monty Kerr, the owner of TriviaMania.com, purchased the cornflake for $1,350. And in 2006, a man from Australia listed the entire country of New Zealand for sale on eBay. The listing started at 1 cent, but after 6,000 views and 22 bids, the price rose to $3,000. However, before the sale went through, eBay intervened and took down the auction.
I mean, obviously, they had to intervene. You can't just sell a country on eBay of all places. That'd be crazy. Imagine Putin's on there just bidding. Somebody outbid me again. This is bullshit. I don't know if I can do a Russian accent well or not.
Japanese urban legend of the kitsune. Kitsune is a legendary creature in Japanese folklore. They are known for their shape-shifting abilities, intelligence, and magical powers. They are often depicted as foxes with multiple tails, with the number of tails representing their age and power. In Japanese folklore, kitsune are believed to possess great wisdom and supernatural abilities. They are associated with the element of fire and are considered messengers and servants of the Shinto deity Ingri, who is often depicted with foxes. Kitsune are seen as the guardians of Inari shrines and are believed to bring good fortune, fertility, and protection to those who honor and respect them. One of the most well-known aspects of kitsune is their ability to shapeshift. They can transform into various forms, most commonly into beautiful women, but they can also take the appearance of other animals or objects. Kitsune use their transformative powers for a variety of purposes, such as playing tricks on humans, testing their character, or seducing them. Kitsune are known for their mischievous nature and intelligence. They are skilled tricksters and illusionists, capable of creating powerful illusions to deceive and confuse their targets. They are often portrayed as cunning, sly, and clever creatures. There are different types of kitsune in Japanese folklore, each associated with different characteristics or powers. For example, the Zenko are benevolent fox spirits associated with Ingri and bring good fortune, while the Yako are mischievous and sometimes malevolent spirits that enjoy playing pranks on humans. Overall, kitsune are fascinating creatures deeply rooted in Japanese folklore, representing a blend of supernatural abilities, wisdom, and mischief. Their enduring popularity is a testament to their rich mythology and their ability to captivate.
Ooh, that was a long one, but that was cool. I wanted them to come down and bestow some of that knowledge on me, you know? That'd be pretty tight. Well, there you have it, folks. Day 21 in the books. We have 10 more days after this of TikToktober where I'm posting every single day. And then after that, I'm going to be posting reaction videos a couple times a week still, but I am working on a new series right now, and I'm really excited to share that with you guys next month. If you're enjoying this type of content, you can find the entire TikToktober series playlist in the description below, as well as the original video. And until next time, which is tomorrow, peace!